Hey, how's it going everybody? I'm here to show you guys a quick video on how to do SUMIF using named ranges. It's not something that, anybody would use that often, but you might come across it. It's honestly very, very rare. I've only had to use it once or twice in my couple years of doing Excel. And so what I'm trying to show you guys is a normal SUMIF, but instead of just using one criteria, we're going to be able to do multiple criteria. So let me give you an example. So over here we have a tenant breakdown of how much each tenant is paying per month for their unit. So imagine a boss is coming in and they say, hey, I want to see how much Alex, Kathy, Amanda, Jake, and Alejandro are paying all together in their rent. So first, let's go ahead and bring in each person's rent so we can double check our work, and I can show you guys how everything is gonna happen. So here's each individual person's rent. So Alex is paying $500, Kathy's paying $750, and so on. And the total of those rents is $3,500. Okay. So the question is, how would you bring all this into one cell? Right. So a normal SUMIF formula would usually look like this. So you type in SUMIF and it's asking where's the range for the criterias. So it's an A, and then the criteria is this, and then the sum range is just the rents. So Alex is paying $500. Well, the issue is that we need to be able to put all these criteria in here. So you can't just do this, right? That doesn't work. And you can't do something like this. You can't do an OR formula and then just try to select all these. That doesn't work either. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do name ranged SUMIF, and we're gonna be able to put all these criteria into this one little space right here. So the first thing we're gonna do is put a list of all the things that we need. So these are all the criteria. So right now I'm just gonna select 5, and what we're gonna do, let's go ahead and name this range. Let's name it tenant. And so once we name it tenant, what we're gonna do is instead of selecting this, we're gonna type in the name range we just put. So right now it's still not correct because it's doing the tenant, the SUMIF, the very first thing into tenant. So we put Kathy here. It would put the Kathy number. So what we need to do is we need to put sum on the outside. And what we're trying to tell Excel to do is sum all of these criteria inside this tenant. Now it's not done yet, so the last thing we need to do is let me draw it out for you. It's called an array formula. So we need to click on the end of the formula and we need to type in ctrl+shift+enter. Okay, ctrl+shift+enter. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's exit this drawing mode. So right here, ctrl+shift+enter. And once you do that, it's gonna add these little brackets at the end, and now it's something called an array formula. So now you can see that it pulls in the full 3,500. So the cool thing about this is that it kind of has a functionality of a pivot table where we're able to add to the range, and it can add, we can put like Lucy down here, and like let's say we want to add Deshaun. So right now it's not working, and the reason is because the name range isn't large enough. So this is as far as the name range goes. So let's go ahead and delete the current range, and we can rename it and make it larger so we can make it so we can add names. So we're just gonna go to formula, name manager, and we're just gonna delete that. And so this time we're gonna increase it. So we're gonna name this all these cells the tenant table. So now if we put a new name into here, if we put a new name into that name range, it's going to automatically be able to add it in. So see, so now we can add Jake. Jake's already in here, but let's just, for example, there's more names, so we can add all these names over and over, and then it automatically adds it to the total. So once again, it's really similar to a pivot table. How pivot tables, you can add, like, you can select the drop down of who you want it to show, and it'll show you the total. But the difference is that this is a lot more simpler. You don't have to add a pivot table. Imagine that you're making a dashboard and the dashboard has 40, 50 different inputs. You don't want to make a pivot table for every single one of those. So this is a much quicker way of doing sums on ranges that is also editable by the user. So that's pretty much it. SUMIF, name ranges. You won't use it that often, but in the end it is a good tool in your arsenal to use, and I found it really useful, and it's definitely something different, a different way to handle it. So if you guys liked the video, go ahead, subscribe, like. Honestly, I care more about your comments. If you have any comments, please go ahead and shoot those on the bottom. I'll answer almost every single comment that comes in. I might even make some new videos. Some suggestions would be great too. Thanks guys, have a great day.